Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for finding the time to join us this morning. We will be going through our bachelor degree programs, the whole offering we do have. But prior to that, we will also be covering the Higher National Diploma in Tour Guiding and Tourist Guiding. As many of you are aware, I can see some familiar faces. So some of you already know the institute, know the offering. I'm very familiar with that. Others of you might be joining us for the first time. As you will see in the presentation, we have some new programs. We have also created new platforms that will assist those interested in moving into the hospitality industry to have a smoother entry into the educational system, particularly so for those who are interested in pursuing a culinary arts degree. Further details, we will go through them during the presentation. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for those who are watching us through the digital platform. Okay, so we'll start with the Higher National Diploma in Tourist Guiding. Many of you by now should be well aware what ACTSs are, and what a semester is, and what the summer placement is, as well as the industrial trade practice, but I will also briefly give some information on this for those of you who are joining us from outside the institute. So basically, when we're saying ECTSs, credits, 120 ECTSs, is the European Credit Transfer System, whereby each credit consists of 25 hours of learning, which is those 25 hours are split between time spent in class, self-study time, so time you would be studying on your own steam, at home, reading books, literature, what have you, as well as assessment time. So each one ECTS is made up of 25 hours. On completion of the HND, Higher National Diploma in Tourist Guiding, you will be achieving 120 ECTSs. The Higher National Diploma in Tourist Guiding consists of 4 semesters, as well as a period of tuition during the summer season. We have recently made some amendments to make the program even more appealing. It's one of our most popular programs at the Institute, because something we can highlight as well, in order for one to obtain a license by the Malta Tourism Authority, this course, a successful completion of this program needs to be presented. So it goes hand in hand with the tourist guide license. Entry criteria, as with every program, there is a set of entry criteria. The HND being at level 5, we can see the minimum of 3 advanced and intermediate levels. So what one would expect in a typical level 5 qualification. However, there are also alternative means how one can enroll into such a program. Okay. Of course, we do also recognize the internal qualifications that one may have already obtained by following a program at the Institute. So that is, we recognize the events, rooms division, travel and tourism, food preparation production, as well as food and beverage service programs as an entry requirement to this program. Nevertheless, there is also always the maturity clause, whereby an individual would be 23 years or older to enroll for this program. This would typically be also be pegged to some proficiency and aptitude tests, which we do to ascertain that the individual is geared well enough to manage this program of study. So what to expect when pursuing such a program? Of course, you will be exposed to various aspects, various modules, which we'll go through soon after the slide. But yes, we will making you or exposing you to historical aspects, skills, You would be needing to manage the crowd. That is, when you are a tourist guide, of course, you have a set of people. How you're going to relay that message, and this will be done in practical terms. So you would be going on site in some destinations, like for instance Valletta, Dina, and what have you, but also in heritage visitor attractions, such as sites from Heritage Malta, amongst others. The languages are, of course, a core part of this program, and for this reason, you have a selection of two languages. You will be able to choose from 5 languages. We have German, French, German, French, Italian, Spanish, and we are also working on other languages which are aligned with the population visiting the country from new markets, such as, for instance, Polish and other. But further details on this will be given on specific requests. You have, as I mentioned, the field visits. You would be looking at the prehistoric sites, so you'd be looking at history on a wide range of perspectives within it. Exploring also digital technologies, because the guide these days, and also we are expecting legislation to be amended in due course, should also be able to manage his or her offering to the crowd out there. So, you know, we're potentially seeing entrepreneurial individuals working as tour guides as well, and we will also get you ready in that. Of course, we're looking at the region, which is very important to us. We have to keep in the context in which Malta is. So we're looking at the bigger picture of the region, so that's the Mediterranean. And as I said, the interpretation, the skills you use to deliver the message to your crowd, okay? Semester 2, a continuation of languages, okay? We will look into specific periods, such as the Knights period, the British period, the countrysides, which are also important in view that we have a mix of tourism, not only those seeking particular cities, but also looking beyond the cities and looking also at the rural areas, not only urban areas. Of course, it goes without saying, though, that research is important. It's a skill one will acquire when doing this program, which will also help you in the long term across your career. So we will be also teaching the individuals how to conduct research, of course in an academic way, because at level 5 one is expected to be able to present or prepare papers of a certain level of academic value. However, then you have a transversal type of programs such as accounts and economics. Working with tourism segment at large, it's important that one understands the economics, the basic economics principles of how the markets work, and also be able to conduct or understand basic accountancy, also in view of the aspects we have discussed of individuals working on their own team. Semester 3 would be a work placement, so you would be spending time hands-on in industry. This is a valuable component in our programs, which we prepare the students for, but then, of course, when you are thrown out there, of course, it might not be the best word, but once you are in practical terms conducting your work, you will obtain much more experience. Nevertheless, we are going to get you ready for it. As you can see, the weighting of the work placement is 30 CTSs. So it's a lengthy, it's a summer placement. You would be working for the whole summer period, and this is recognized also with the credit system. Moving on to year two, you can see again some transversal components such as niche tourism, first aid. There is a project you will be working on, marketing. So these are all aspects you will be going through. By the end of this, you would obtain your qualification, which you can then also, as I mentioned earlier, apply for the tourist guide visa license, sorry, with the Malta Tourism Authority, which will allow you to work, I mean, in practice on the ground, because you must keep in mind that a tourist guide cannot have a group of people of 4. So you're gonna just get a group of people and go around and identify yourself as a tour guide. You need to have the license, and the enforcement from the Malta Tourism Authority is very present on this market. So it's one wouldn't really get away with it. But apart from the tourist guide role, as you can see, you can also find yourselves working either in heritage visitor section or interpretation center as an officer, maybe a manager, tourist information center, amongst others. Okay, we'll move now on to our first bachelor program for this morning. So the bachelor's in international hospitality management. This program is run in collaboration with Hagahelia University of Applied Science in Finland. It is a bachelor's with honors, hence you will be getting 240 ECTS, so it's quite lengthy there. And the program is spread over 32 months, which would include a year abroad at the IITP. Sorry, the IITP is not a year this time, it's a shorter period, but also the LITP. So even though those of you who have progressed from other levels at the institute and had LITP will again be exposed to LITP, of course. This time you can expect your perspective in the field to be different than it was at certificate or diploma level, okay? As well as your position, your exposure would be not in roles you have experienced at earlier studies, but this time it will be at higher ranks. That said, given that this is also an entry point, but we will go through this later, there will be exposure for those new individuals. So as you can see, the entry criteria for this bachelor degree is wide, ranging from advanced levels and intermediates for those joining us from outside the institute, the recognition of the internal qualifications as with previous, so ITS's own diplomas. You have the higher national diploma, which you could have already conducted at ITS. Or also you can have the opportunity to apply as a mature student. Again, the same age applies here, 23 years of age or above. That is definitely something when you're applying on the maturity clause, you will be requested, you are asked to provide proof of your English proficiency. We have to keep in mind that this is a bachelor degree, so the writing, the way you will write, the way you communicate needs to be of a certain level. Okay. And these components in these programs, even though we are putting a lot of effort in lower programs, that is certificate and diploma, and getting our students ready to be able to do some academic research. So we're getting, we have inserted recently components that are helping our students from early stages. At this stage, at the bachelor's degree, you are expected, of course, to be by now geared well enough to do this research appropriately. So what will the program lead you to? You have a series of components which will be targeted directly at your understanding of the operation of the hospitality sector from within. So looking at properties, various types of accommodation properties one may have, but not only. You will have also the skills of how to understand the marketing principles, among others, understand the impact of scientific and cultural aspects on the segment, be it accommodation or otherwise, amongst others. So you will note, I must highlight that you will note some components of transversal components. We refer to them as transversal because you will see these are common in all programs. So be it this bachelor's as well as the others that will follow. We do so because some core elements are important in whatever you're doing. These are typically related to human resource, marketing, finance and accounting, economics. So you will still see these components in all our degrees. However, then you will have some specific areas, and particularly this comes into modules we're looking at, such as hotel operations. This would be directly related to hotels and hospitality. You're looking at hotel marketing and communications. Accounting again is there, but as a transversal component. We will also be helping you, as seen here in semester 1, assisting you yourself in becoming better in developing your own self. Further modules I will highlight the those related to academia, to research. So to emphasize the point that at this level you are expected to conduct appropriate research of a certain quality, but we will be helping you doing so. So as you can see, we have the quantitative research methods, and this semester there will be also a qualitative. So we will give you both exposure to both types of research done. Management, people management, leadership, human resource. So these are all aspects, modules which you will be exposed to, some of which will also be as an elective. So you will be choosing a particular module or another depending on which area you see yourselves working in once in operation, once on completion of the program and you are back to the working world. We will, as mentioned earlier, we have the international trade practice. Again, there's a 30 ECTS because this time it's not a 12-month, but it's a shorter period. We're looking at 3 to 4 months. So it's similar to the IITP in the credit weight, in ECTS weight. Looking here at the third year, of course, you're seeing a lot of modules, and yes, there is a lot of work. It's a 3-year program. It's a lengthy program. It's a bachelor degree with 240 CTSs. So we need to keep that in mind because when you might compare with other degrees from other places, you also need to factor in the ECTSs. Hence why the number of credits it carries. Part of the program, of course, the ITS we're working very much on now, also giving you the skills to become entrepreneurial if you wish, okay? Because we find that many individuals from our institute do end up owning restaurants, amongst others, but restaurants would be the most popular, I would say, maybe because also the population there is relatively big, but also in aspects like tourism at large, yes, we are giving our students insights into business startup, finance, risk, corporate issues, public policy. This is all because the skills by now at bachelor degree would be wide. Okay, you would be factoring in many aspects that will affect the business. Either if you're working on your own team for your company, which you may have in the future, and also if you're working within an organization. It's always important to keep all these aspects in perspective. So on completion of the program, these are some of the roles you can expect yourself to be able to achieve. Yes, we do firmly believe this, but this is also going to be correlated, if you wish, to your performance. So your performance on the ground, hands-on deck, as well as your studies will also affect the roles you will get. But yes, we will be getting you ready to be able to manage one of these roles or others. This is definitely, I'm highlighting this because a student who performs, who gives his utmost, is likely to perform better than a student who does the bare minimum. Moving on to the Culinary Arts program, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, this year we are launching a preparatory program. We found that there have been a series of individuals interested in joining this Culinary Arts degree. However, as it was in the past, one could not enroll for this program. So the Institute, we have worked on creating a platform which can facilitate this transition to those who wish to change industry, are not anymore interested in whatever they were doing in the past and wish to acquire the skills to become chefs or work in the culinary world. And what we have done is we have created this 1 year, which includes a local industrial trade practice, a local practice, to get them ready to start the degree program. So this is over and above the 3 years that the bachelor degree will take. Okay. Entry requirements here, as one can assume, are either coming from a level 4, okay, there could be a level 5, so we can have someone who was studying engineering, for instance, and now wishes to work as a chef, and there is an opportunity for such individuals to join in. So that's a HND or equivalent option. You have the option of the advanced levels or intermediate, as well as the maturity clause will always be there as part of our policy. So what we will do during this preparatory year for the bachelor degree in culinary arts, we have compressed, we have taken the core, the most important components of the culinary world, what skills one needs to obtain in such a short time, and we have compressed them into this 1 year program so that these individuals who have no skills, so if you don't have any skills in kitchen but you wish to read for a bachelor degree in culinary arts, we have created this opportunity. And yes, this preparatory course will teach you the skills you need to be able to manage the bachelor level, which of course is a high level of skill needed. So as you can see, you will be dealing with basics, kitchen and larder individuals. You will have pastry, hot kitchen as well. You will be doing the theory of all this. All this is just to get you ready. As you can see, there's a focus very much on the skills, the kitchen skills. Okay, so the commodities, the understanding of what you're working with, the ingredients you're working with, as well as the practical component, because that is what will be needed in such a skill-specific component. And finally, the LITP, which on completion of the LITP, on successful completion, then which you start the first year of the bachelor's. Hence, we will move on to the bachelor degree in culinary arts, which this time is done in collaboration with Institut Paul Bocuse. Institut Paul Bocuse require little introduction. It's a global brand in the culinary world, and we are very proud that we collaborate with them on this front. So again, as we did see with our other bachelor degree, the International Hospitality Management degree, we are looking at 240 CTS because this is a bachelor's with honors. Okay, so you're looking at the duration of 32 months, and the LITP and the IATP as highlighted earlier. As an entry, for you to be admitted to this program, you would have to either climb the ladder from the institute, so you have successfully performed earlier levels from the institute. Otherwise, the preparatory course, and with the case also of the maturity this time, one would also need to, however, either go through the RPL method or do the preparatory course. But the RPL method, for those who are not familiar with, so we could have the example of someone having worked in the sector for already a long period of time, but never had the opportunity to take up some formal education. And many a time, these individuals would have gained their knowledge and skills in industry over a period of time. The RPL mechanism is a mechanism that would recognize these skills, okay, and reconciliate those in line with our offering, the programs of study, for us to understand the level of competence of this individual. So this is also another tool which one can use to enroll for this program. In the case primarily so of mature students, because these cases are normally found with mature students only. A very exciting program, very interesting aspects. Some of you, or most of you, would be also very keen about going to France because you will be actually visiting Port Bocuse, as would also the international hospitality management students. Okay, the IHM students will go to Finland, to Hagahelia, and the Culinary students will be going to Institut Port Bocuse in France. Something to highlight, because those interested in this, the restaurant at Institut Port Bocuse, so the training restaurant, has now also achieved a 1 Michelin star. So you'll be working at a 1 Michelin star at the institute itself. A series of modules which you will be reading for, preparing for. As I said, there are components which are similar to the IHM students, but you will, of course, having also sector-specific modules, such as cuisine and culture in the Mediterranean. It's important that by now, although ITS is very much of a French technique-based culinary institute, at this level, we are also exposing you to other cuisines. That includes Asia, the Americas, amongst others. Okay, at this level, you are expected now to start exploring a bit further. Yes, you might use your French techniques, which are recognized globally, and there's a demand for them globally. However, yes, we start putting these components from international cuisines because at the end of the day, these are also styles which have a market on the market. Human resource, of course, as with the IHM program, you are expected to know more now also about managing your brigade, your team. So there will be an element of human resource, leadership, entrepreneurial skills. These are all components which you will be exposed to. It's not anymore just about cooking a dish, okay? So this you need also to start thinking of. It's not only about cooking and preparing a dish for a menu. By now, we also know that even a menu, to do a menu, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to do it appropriately. There's the costing, there's the sourcing of ingredients. So you also have the aspect of logistics coming in there, the pricing of the menu, the seasonality, the ingredients you're using, depending on the style of cuisine you are adapting, the market that there is. So even dishes form part of menu engineering, which you have already done, and part of the analysis you should be doing at this level goes beyond just preparing dishes. I'm sure those of you who have been with us can relate to what I am saying. So being also a management position, which one would expect our students to be getting ready for, you're looking also at kitchen design. You might be venturing into a new a startup, a restaurant startup. So you need to be able to understand how to design a kitchen. You might be you find yourselves in situations where the place of work needs to do refurbishment, and you can contribute also on that front. So you see many interesting components related, of course, to the environment are starting to come in. Architecture and engineering. Oh, but I don't want to be an architect here. I'm here to study for a chef. Yes, but you need to get some understanding. Then again, it depends on where you would like to take your career and how you would like to position yourself in your career. But these are management principles, management and understandings which you will have, competencies which you will gain and use in the future. You might find yourselves working with an international company eventually, and I'm sure you might know of cases of individuals who are spending a couple of years or 3 years in a country, then moving on to another country, moving on from a executive sous chef to executive chef, to go Asia, moving the world. And many of them, of course, are our students as well. So, I mean, the sky is the limit. It depends on what you will make out of it. The understanding of festivals and events, as you know, in these establishments, you will be doing festivals and events. It's something which happens on a normal basis. Cost control and analysis is again there's a specific here module on dairy processing and of products. So you can also by now start to produce your own dairies, maybe even at home. A nice gift for your parents would be nice. Some experimentation in the process as well. Food and wine pairing, as we know, it's food and wine are like bread and butter. Although we have new components coming in, such as beer these days, but we are here focusing on wine to date, as well as customer service management. When it comes for the dissertation aspect, you will be assigned, as well as IHM students, you will be assigned a tutor. So you will be preparing for this task, which is very important. As you can see from the CTSs, it almost equates to as much as the trade practice. So 20 CTSs, it's not a bit. And the weight is there because this will be the culmination of all your work. Okay, depending on the area of study you are doing within the kitchen or the culinary world, this is going to be your big project, your thesis, your dissertation, okay? So this is very important, and an early recommendation would be that you start shaping up your mind, thinking of where you want to go. You might already have some ideas. You will clarify them in the process with our lecturers who are very skilled at helping you, I am sure about that. But do dedicate the time to this, because the time will come, and if you leave it to the last minute, you will not do a great job on this front. Expected job roles, as referred to earlier, these are what you should expecting. Then again, your input is going to be related to what you will achieve. Okay, do not expect yourselves to get on graduation day, get the certificate and find the job as a head chef. I wish you luck. There are possibilities, but it does not necessarily happen that way. Okay, depends then again on what your ambitions are and the input you will put, and also on the market. So definitely this is going to be a strong statement for you to present whilst at your interviews. I am sure many of you will do a great job because you are here, because you have the passion to do this. However, yes, do expect yourself to be ready to work in those roles, but in practice, you will get there. It may be some months, it may be some years. But what is certain is that we will get you ready for it. Now we're moving on to our new bachelor degree. I think the Institute, on behalf of all my colleagues, everyone who worked on this, we are very proud to have this on our prospectus. It's a first in the globe, worldwide, a bachelor degree in dive safety management. This has been done with then Europe, which is Divers Alert Network Europe. Exciting new period here for us. We're looking at a bachelor degree this time. Instead of 240, we're looking at 180 degree, same duration of 32 months, and a local industrial trade practice and international trade practice. So the entry requirements in this case, we are looking at 3A levels and intermediate levels. We're looking at a full level 4 qualification and appropriate experience in the sector. A diploma from ITS or equivalent at level 4. An HND, a higher national diploma or equivalent at level 5. And there is also, once again, the maturity clause, okay, which or maturity clause in this case are also can leverage the recognition for prior learning mechanism, the RPL, the mechanism that will recognize the skills you have obtained whilst you were working in industry, away from education in the area, but you were working in the sector. So by working in the sector, you would have acquired skills and competencies. So the dive safety management course will give you the knowledge, skills, and competencies you need to work in this exciting segment. It's also an important segment for the Maltese Islands, but also not only for Malta, even for the region. And what you will be getting out of it is the way that diving works, what's behind it, the physiology of aspects of things. Okay, the diving activity itself, how it does affect the individual. All this will be run. This program will be run online. Okay, so it will be a program designed whereby the theoretical components are taught online, whereas the practical components, and there are some of those, are set up in a lab built specifically for it in our campus in Gozo, and 9CLM Gozo. We have a space probably twice the size of this room, dedicated purposely for this degree. Okay, why Gozo is also popular for diving, perhaps even more than Malta, and we're expecting here to have many international candidates to join in on this program. So yes, the program, the theory will be run online through the platform that the institute makes use of, that is the Microsoft Teams, through digital classrooms, but the practical components will have to happen in Gozo. What are we looking at in module terms? Of course, there's an element of tourism, so that is definitely important. It's always there. We're looking at internet aspects of it, but then, given that we're looking at dive safety, you have legal aspects, you have insurance, public policy, again coming in, the risks, that marketing aspects, research and innovation, because it's a degree as with others, the others degree we mentioned, the research component is important at bachelor's level, because by the end of the program you will be contributing also to industry as well as academia with the work you would be doing. The LITP, there's the local industrial trade practice, similar as with the other programs. It carries a weight of 30 CTSs. Then moving on to semester 1 for year 2, you can see some dive medicine for divers coming in, research operator. These are very technical components which are needed for the diving industry. Now, one may ask, but I have done a course in this, I have done a course with that. Can I be exempted? Potentially, yes. What we will work with the RPL program, which highlighted also earlier, to identify the relevance of that module, but you also need to keep in mind the ACTSs. So there could be aspects which in the short course you would have done in the past, you have covered a small part of that component, but at a bachelor's level, at an actual academic qualification, that is not enough. So you would be, even though the subject you might be already familiar with, you would be going a bit deeper into that matter. We'll be looking at deep diving, the gas used to in the diving industry, the equipment used, okay, but also there are the components of management, how you engage with your employees, how you engage with your customers. These are transversal components which we feel that are important in whichever program you are pursuing. And then comes the international trade practice. We'll move on then to year 3. It's a 3-year program. You will be looking there again fire safety awareness, the ecological awareness, because of course we need to also keep in mind the sustainability or the sustainable modes that need to be factored in this day and age. Oxygen first aid, advanced oxygen. So as you can see, these are modules which will expose the candidate to many aspects that a diver will be exposed to, will meet on the course of work. And of course, our students will be getting ready to better understand all these components in preparation for their actual real world positions. So the mode of learning, as I said, I will repeat it once more, the mode of learning will be handled online for the theory modules. All theory modules will be done online, but the practical components of it will be done at the Gozo campus in ITS's Gozo campus in INCLM. What to expect on completion of this program again? So looking at becoming an instructor, a research diver, diving medical technician, many opportunities there lay for those who choose to pursue this program. All our provision here at the Institute, the language we use for provision is English. This is so because we work in the tourism sector, but not only, we also operate within a multicultural environment. So English is the language of instruction. This academic year is expected to start on October 2020, but ends in June 2021. For those of you who already been with us know that it doesn't end there because you have the LITP. So we are referring to here the semesters on campus. The local trade practice will happen soon after that. So as soon as you finish your examinations for the semester, you will be moving on to the local trade practice. So it's important to highlight for those who are not familiar with the system here and might think that by June the local trade practice will be also complete. Typically, our lectures commence as early as 8:30, but as you, for those who have been with us know, but for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time, so you can have lectures starting at 8:30, that is the earliest. However, you might have days where your lecture will be starting later in the morning or early afternoon, and this will depend on the schedule, which will be issued by our colleagues from the scheduling office in due course. For those of you who might have questions, please keep them for a bit longer, because I will be passing on now the the stage to my colleague, Registrar Mr. Kevin Bonello, who will be touching on aspects related to registration and all. Good morning.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. I know some of you have been here, so you know most of the technicalities. Some of you will be applying for a new start. Here at ITS, we use a uniform. The idea behind the uniform is that since at the industry, basically most of the positions that we train our people for use a uniform, it might as well you get used to it, and you might as well get used to the discipline that is behind it. Maltese students, and in some cases even foreign students who are eligible according to the Maltese legislation, you may apply for a stipend while studying full-time in any course. You will be receiving some information about this from the stipends office, even those of you who have been here in due course later on during the summer. All EU citizens, this is important to clarify, all EU citizens are eligible also for a free tuition for full-time courses in Malta. This of course includes the Maltese. However, they need to be resident in Malta. If you are resident abroad and following the course online, this is not the case. So it's important for this to be clear. Now, there are various departments at ITS. This is a list of the departments that we have at the Institute. You might, we will be touching on some of them today, very briefly, but if you need any information, please let us know, because some of these departments you will be directly involved with later on during your studies. In our department, we have sort of two divisions: the Registrar's Office, which deals with all that stuff, anything related to basically the bureaucracy behind the student's life at the Institute is listed there. So if you need anything related to that list, please let us know so that we can guide you. This holds not just now, of course, but even while doing the course, okay? The scheduling office then deals with timetables, student timetables, examinations, all sorts of timetables, so statistics and all that stuff we issue from the scheduling office. So even there, if you have a problem, for example, those of you who might be coming up from diploma level or from first year to second year, you might have a pending module. It's important to talk to this office so that it is included in your next timetable. Now, for those of you who are new at ITS, we have, like any other institution, our rules and regulations. These are online, I'm not going to read them. You can go into the website, excuse me, the ITS website, we have the whole set of rules. For those of you who have been here, it's important for you even to check them out, because there have been some important changes in the regulations during the past year. Very briefly, the most important things to look out for are the attendance, progression, maintenance grant, and behavior policies. These are all included in the main text of the rules and regulations. Just to give you a very brief idea, attendance, basically you get the ECTSs that Andrew was explaining before me, not just by doing the assignments, examination, and so on, but also there is a component for which you get the credits via contact. You need to be present in class. This is why there are percentages involved in the rules and regulations. In our regulations, you need 80% attendance in most of the modules in order to be able to do the assessment. This holds better both if the modules are online as well as if they are physically in class or practical or whatever. With regards to progression, there is also an explanation on how one can progress from one course to the next, from 1 year to the next. So it's important that you sort of take a look so that you know what your rights are, what you can do, and what you need to do just in case you have any difficulty. Same goes with maintenance grant and behavior policies. Here, this is an institute where we do not tolerate bullying and that sort of stuff, harassment and all that thing. It's very important that these rules are respected, because otherwise the atmosphere might get ruined and we will make ourselves uncomfortable, which is something that you don't need in any course. Now, those of you who have been here already and are progressing to the second year, if you've finished HND, you're progressing to the second year, you don't need to go through this because you have received an internal application via email. However, those of you who are applying for the new courses and are starting as new students with us, there is the online application. All you need to do is simply go to the relevant place in the website, apply for the course that you need to apply, and fill in and upload the documents that are requested. Basically, it's quite a simple application process. Of course, especially for the full-time courses, we will need some details. So please bear with us. The application might be a little bit long because in order to simplify it, we need to divide into various sections. But please do upload the documents necessary. Otherwise, we can, especially at degree level, we need to check whether you are eligible or not. Okay, so it's important that you follow. If you have any difficulty, come to the registrar's office, phone us, or send us an email, and we will try to help you. Just in case applicants have any learning difficulty, also please in the application you can let us know and we can also guide you accordingly depending on the case. So basically this is it from my end. If you have any questions later on, we will be answering the questions. Now my colleague from the internship office, Ms. Miriam, will be continuing.
Good morning. I welcome you on behalf of the Internship Office, and together with my team, we take care of all students' placements. So, as has been mentioned earlier, during your course of studies, during your 3 years of studies at ITS, you have embedded in your curriculum a local placement during your first year and an international 3-month placement during your second year of studies. You may take ownership of this placement, you may find your own placement. However, you need to keep us informed so that we can coordinate the necessary documents and get everything in place. Besides that, since it is an obligatory part of the course, you will be attaining credits. Besides that, to help you, ITS has invested in an online platform. It's called HOSCO. So once you enroll into ITS, you are eligible to upload your profile and CV, highlighting all your education and practice and any job experience on it, so that you will be directly in touch with any job opportunities. So this platform brings together the students and the employers. Employers upload job vacancies and you can apply for them. Besides, as an office, we do also have our own contacts and we have a very good working relationship both with local partners and international ones, and we will be able to inform you of opportunities. We will also coordinate interviews for you because they are done in various ways through telephone, through Skype, or some of the international partners come over here and they will be able to interview you face to face. These are some of the local partners that we work with, so definitely there will be job opportunities for you in these hotels, establishments. And then this is as regards your international 3-month placement, okay? So it's a practical experience, the hospital industry in a foreign country. We also have our own contacts. You can choose your own from HOSCO too, and we will work together to make this happen. These are some of the brands that we are affiliated with, and you will be given multiple opportunities. Besides that, besides helping you out in all the technical parts, in all the paperwork, we also work closely with our colleagues from the support services department. They are soon going to come and speak to you themselves so that we prepare you. So if you are hesitant, maybe in sitting for an interview, or you might have some anxiety as to go abroad and work abroad, we are here all to support you. We will also be available during your placement, either online, either we visit you abroad. So this unit is totally dedicated to support the students when it comes to placements, to jobs. I thank you for your attention and I call on the stage Miss Audrey and Miss Claire.
Thank you and good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to welcome back our students and to welcome our new students at ITS. Some of you may know me. I am Audrey, the guidance officer, and along with Miss Claire Chanta, who's my colleague, she's a counselor, and another colleague of ours, Jackie Drury, we form part of this team, the Student Support Services. Our goal is to help our students from the first day that you enroll up till the day that you graduate. Okay? We are here to support you in different and distinct ways, from the choice of career or course up till your personal issues, because we truly believe that if a student feels well about himself, is doing well, or feels happy and fulfilled, he or she will perform better at work and even during their studies. So we have this holistic point of view. Okay? In such case, first of all, I would like to thank all our students who have shown trust during these past years, who have had appointments with us and discussed their personal issues, and invite others to come forward. Okay? So we truly encourage you in doing so. With regards to my service, I can help you with your course of your choice of course or your program or as your career, as well as with interview skills. Okay? I know that my colleague Ms. Miriam had just been explaining about the LITP and IITP, and these all include that you sit for interviews. We have some students who find interviews challenging and difficult, and it's normal because it's a stressful situation. So I do encourage you to come forward and email me in case you need any of my services. That's my email address, guidance@its.edu.mt. You may find it as well on our social media. Okay. So ideally, you email me and I come back to you and fix an appointment. Okay? So I wish you luck in your studies at ITS, and now I invite my colleague, Ms. Claire Chandra, who will be discussing about the well-being services. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. As has already explained, my name is Claire Chandra and I am the counselor. Some of you know me because you've been here for some years now. And for those who are new, I am the counselor here at ITS, and I take care of what we call the well-being services. The reason why we have this service on offer to our students is because, as Audrey has already mentioned, we believe that students need to be happy and need to be feeling okay with themselves and with their lives in order to succeed in their studies and their careers. As you all know, in life, we're not always feeling happy and focused and okay. Sometimes there are moments when something happens and we feel sad, or we are worried about something, or we're feeling stressed out and tired with all the coursework that we have to do. And that is why this service is available, to try to help you find ways to improve your situation so that you can feel better and then be able to focus on your studies, on your career, on your relationships, on anything that you would like to achieve in terms of your goals. All right. The sessions with me are confidential, which means that whatever is discussed with me remains with me and the information is not shared with other people. And it's a very relaxed atmosphere that I try to create for our students. So if students contact me because they wish to talk to me about something which is perhaps a little bit difficult, we just set an appointment via email and they come to my office, we sit down, I make them a warm drink, maybe a tea or a coffee, and we just talk about what's going on and try to find ways to improve the situation, or perhaps discover certain skills that the student already has, but who doesn't know how to use them or how to utilize them in the best way to improve the situation so that they can feel better. There's a number of different things that students discuss with me. It can range from issues within the family, issues with friends, or in their relationships with their partners. Sometimes even they are experiencing very difficult emotions which they're not sure how to handle, or which they feel are stopping them from reaching their goals, or sometimes they pass through a very difficult experience that is making them feel a bit unsure about how to proceed with their life, or which is making them feel stuck, like they cannot move forward from it. These are all things that I can assist with. Some people just come for self-exploration. They're not sure exactly who they are or what they want and would like to explore and get to know themselves a little bit better. Maybe they're finding it a bit difficult to understand why they behave in certain ways, and they would like to understand themselves a little bit more. And some people also come for personal development and personal growth, such as some people suffer a little bit from lack of confidence and they would like to improve their confidence, perhaps also to be able to succeed in their interviews or at their workplace. And something else which is good for you all to know is that the service is offered all throughout the scholastic year, including during the summer holidays and during the Christmas and Easter recess, and even whilst you are abroad. If you are experiencing difficulties and would like my support, we can set an appointment to speak online. All right, so the service is really available to you for as long as you are students with us. That is, in a nutshell, what I do in as well-being services. My email address is up on the screen, and it is also possible to find it on the website and on the social media. All right. The third person with us in student services is Ms. Jackie Jury. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to be here today, but we have put a photo of her so that you know who she is. Some of you maybe already know her. And basically, her role is she acts as the first point of reference for students. This means that if students are experiencing a difficulty which they're not sure who to speak to about, they can go ahead and speak to her first and she'll be able to guide them accordingly, whether she will tell them perhaps that they could benefit from some of my services, or maybe they should set an appointment with Audrey, or maybe it's something that should be discussed with the internship unit or perhaps the registrar's office. She will be the one who'll be able to listen to the issue, understand exactly what's going on and guide you to the relevant departments in the institute to be able to support you in resolving the issue. All right. She basically acts, we like to call it like a bridge between the students and the institute and the rest of the departments. All right. So we've arrived to the end of this information sessions. If any of you have any questions related to anything which was discussed today, the people in the room can raise their hands so that my colleagues will be able to answer the relevant questions. For those who are viewing us online, if you also would like to ask any questions, feel free to type them out and we'll be able to read them and answer them here. Okay?
Anyone has any question? Mela, Paul Bocuse is usually in the second year, intitila second year. So it will be in the first semester, Ushek. So it will be probably in October. October we start the second, February. Mela, so in your case, it will be February 2021. Okay?
Il-placement ta' wara jisir normali. Le, aħna t-najdu intom second year din. Tilajn second year, mela 2021 tkunu tamlu l-placement. So in academic year, this academic year, second semester tkunu sejrin barra. So, Umbat il-placement ħajsir barra, Iva. Ovvijament għala ħaġa straordinarja biex ma jisirx. Il-konsernija, per esempio, l-pandemija. Le. Ta' wara Bul-Bukus. Umbat irrid isir il-placement l-LITP għaw Malta u koll. L-LITP għamiltuħ, le? ħajamluħ da sajf, ma n-tawara għabat la ATP International. Iva. Idealment Iva ħna għanna rizorsi mill-Internship Office tawkom il-rizorsi bħalmu għal-ħosko biex tamlu dan. And you are expected, yes, to do this research on your own steam. Mela ġej liex, sorry ma fmetekx. Yeah, it could be it could also be that once you are in France, you will move on to the internship straight away. So you do not necessarily need to come back to Malta and then go back. Oh, correct, Eva. So, Kalma, it's similar to how the diploma has worked. And then proceeding on to the HND, that gap, it continues.
Just to clarify, Ash, this is a very important question. You will be going to Paul Bocuse on an Erasmus exchange program. Okay, issa. You will need to check with the Erasmus officer because the contract might include the contract so that you get the funds. Okay, you will be getting the funds to be able to live in France comfortably. Okay, and you will also be covered for the course expenses. But you might have in the contract that you will need to come back to Malta before going back to work, just in case you are doing the international placement immediately after the Paul Bocuse semester. So that you will need to check with the Erasmus officer when you get to it. Okay? When you are going to, before leaving for Paul Bocuse, you will get the contract, so it will be written down. Okay, there might be this clause that you need to come back to the country and then go back wherever you are going to work, okay? Okay, would anybody from the internships office, please? So my colleague from the internship office.
As you are all aware, this year was exceptional, okay, and extraordinary. Now, based on the communication issued by the Institute on 1st April, in your case, first years and HNDs, you were given a concession, okay, that if you do not manage to secure employment in Malta for the summer, however, we have to keep in mind that things are moving and we are issuing job vacancies at the moment. So you might still be in time to do your placement in Malta this summer. If not, you have been given the choice. This is an ad hoc decision, okay, that was taken in view of the circumstances. Yes, you may go to France on the exchange, okay, on the academic side. Then you may opt to return back to Malta and do your summer placement in Malta, and you do your international placement at the end of your studies after the third year. It could be considered, yes, in view of the circumstances, if how do you feel? Actually, it works the other way around, Julian. If you leave your international internship at the end, you will be able even to spend more months. For example, it's a great opportunity. What you have to prioritize. You have to make your own choices. If you prefer to come back to Malta because you are going to continue working in Malta, it's fine for you. Just do the 3 months in summer 2021, and then you do the local placement in 22, if you prefer that. For this time, I'm sure all management has considered all these options in view of the situation that was created for all of us this year. Okay, is it clear now? Thank you.
Any other question? Anything? Okay. Thank you very much. Just in case you need to ask something, we will be here for a short time. Otherwise, you can use email, you can find us at our office and so on. Thank you very much for coming. Have a nice day and have a happy weekend.